Hi, I'm Colin, and welcome to the challenge. This is the first session, and the first question I have for you is, what do you really need? What is required for you to be able to meditate? Now, this really digs into the myths of meditation and is one of the reasons why people don't meditate. So the myths then, one of the things that came up was the myth of exclusivity. So with that, uh, what we do is we watch the one breath meditation video, we get an idea of what it's about, but we still have issues. And one of those issues is around me saying that you focus in on the breath in one area, and then you stick to that. Now, it's easy then to feel that, okay, um, because I'm aware of other things, therefore I'm not meditating properly. And that's actually an incorrect, it's a myth that there's this exclusivity, that what you really need to do is to be so aware of your object of meditation that you can't, nothing else appears to your awareness. Now that can happen occasionally, even before you gain tranquil abiding. You can have peaks of meditation absorption and actually really be cocooned in such a way that you really can be single pointed focused and everything else disappears. However, most of the time, as in 99.999% of the time, there's going to be something else in your awareness. You'll be aware of other people, you'll be aware of voices, you'll be aware of things in your hair, thoughts in your mind, all sorts of things. That doesn't mean that you're not meditating. The single point focus thing is about focusing. So you focus your mind, you have an intention. I'm going to focus in on this part of my breath. And it's only for one breath. Now, if it lasts longer, then that's great, it's a bonus. But if it lasts one breath, you've done it. And in fact, you've already started meditating before you've finished your full breath. So this is another sort of myth busting that it takes a long time to be able to meditate, or you need a long time to do it. Well, you can actually start meditating in a millisecond. The instructions for meditation are very, very simple. One, find your object of meditation. And in this case, it's the breath. And in this case, if you're a total beginner especially, it's anywhere that you feel it. Or maybe you can hear your breath if that's most prominent. So you notice your breath, you become aware of it. And as soon as you've done that, you're already meditating. You've already started. The second instruction is when you are distracted away, you bring your awareness back. And that's it. And also, it tells you that distractions are actually part of meditation. When your awareness is drawn away, you bring it back and refocus. And again, it's not refocus single pointed as in single, nothing else is in your awareness. It's single intention, singly attempting to bring your focus in on one area. And there will be other things happening at the same time, and that's absolutely fine. So this is really useful because it means that you can actually be going for a walk. So you can be walking along and bring your attention to your breath. Now, this, if you had to be single pointed, as in exclusivity, there's no way you could do that because you bang into something. You have to be able to see where you're going. You have to be listening out. You have to be aware of what the dog's doing if you're walking your dog. But you're also at the same time aware of your breath, and you're doing that deliberately. So it's a meditation because you're doing it, you're intentionally focusing your mind, you're focusing your awareness on the breath for one breath. And if your mind wanders and it's under a breath, at least you've started your meditation. So you can count it as one. If you get through one breath and you're onto the second breath, that's great. You've got two going. Brilliant. So I hope you understand that you don't need exclusivity. Your awareness may wander a little bit, but as long as you've got a tiny part of your awareness on your breath at the same time, then you're doing okay. Through the process of meditation, this will become easier. Through the process of bringing your mind back each time you're distracted, will help you to gain more breaths, and it'll eventually become a tiny bit more exclusive, but not. Your mind will still be wandering, your awareness will still be around all over the place, and that's absolutely okay. That's actually meditating. And the other thing is being disturbed from your meditation. So you start to focus in on the breath. You don't have to close your eyes or anything. And somebody walks past and you're disturbed, or talks to you or something like that. Well, at least you've got your one breath in, or at least a part of your breath. So what happens, you get disturbed, and then once they've gone, you start again. You get disturbed and they wander off, and you start again. Every time you're doing it, you're getting another meditation done. And another gold star goes on your list. Remember those gold stars that I'm encouraging you to use. This really helps to motivate you to collect those gold stars. And there is a prize at the end, not for the one who's got the most stars, although there may be a prize for that as well, but definitely for one who tries the hardest and asks lots of questions and this sort of thing. So I would encourage you to get on the website, make comments, and be encouraging, but also ask questions. I love getting questions. I mean, this isn't the actual live audio, but what I loved about it was I was being asked questions and I was able to help out and really make a difference to somebody who wants to meditate. And I want that for you as well. So you get extra stars, lots of extra stars for asking questions. So I encourage you to do that. So every time that you do your one breath or more, you're releasing stress. You're creating the conditions for stress to be released, and it's accumulated stress. Initially, it might just be the stresses of the day, but we're looking at accumulated stress after a while. And the analogy that I like to use for this is there's a bubble of stress rises to the surface and pops. And when you get distracted, it's actually so you're releasing the stress, and when it pops, it disrupts your energy system. And that means that your distractions away from your object of meditation are actually releasing stress. It's a release of stress. It's that bubbles rise to the surface, popped, disrupted your energy system, made your awareness wander. And so what do you do about that? Well, what some people do is say, I can't meditate, I keep getting distracted, which we've already discovered is a myth. And it's a myth because that distraction is most probably a release of stress. So each time I get distracted, I'm actually saying, yippee, I've just released some stress. And the thing to do is to get back into another breath of meditation so you can release another one, another bit, and another bit. And if you're doing this 10, 20 times a day, then you're releasing tons of bits, tiny bits of stress are being released. And accomplished meditators, long-term meditators who you think they're a lot better at meditating, actually, they're no better than you at meditating. What they are is less stressed. They've got less stress in their system because they've released it. The more you meditate, the more you release stress. This is why retreats are so great. This is why I love running retreats, because people go in all stressed and come out all serene. It's wonderful. But we're going to start off with one breath so you can get into the habit. And like I say, doing it 20 times a day is a really great target. In the next session, I'm going to talk about routines and ways that you can connect with the breath, remember to connect with the breath. Because I suspect by the time you've seen this video, that if you're like me and other people, then the first day it's like, oh, I only connected to the breath like twice in the whole day. But then it's twice more than you did yesterday, so that's brilliant. And we're going to look at ways of reminding yourself so that there'll be more tomorrow. And this will motivate again to make it even more the next day. And what people find is that the more times they do the one breath, and even if it's only 1, 2, or 3 breaths each time, then when they do have a chance to have a bit longer meditation, say they've got a whole 5 minutes, they're then able to get into it a lot quicker. There's even accomplished meditators spend the first few minutes being distracted and releasing stress all over the place before they really get into it. And sometimes if they're having a really stressful time, they can go a whole session without, a whole 20 minutes, a whole hour, without really getting further than being distracted by every time they have a breath. But that's tons of stress release just happened right there. So they find that that doesn't happen as much because they've reduced their stress levels over time. And this time, although they've just spent a whole hour or whatever meditating and feeling that they haven't really meditated, the next day, 3 minutes and they're in. Because they've just spent a whole hour releasing tons of stress. And I want that for you when you've got time. Now we're assuming that you haven't got time, but one breath at a time, you can be releasing bits of stress. I hope this makes sense to you. Do make comments. Do come to the next session, live session, with your questions, and I'll see you soon.